Good morning, students. Today's topic is Introduction to DBMS, that is Database Management System. First, we have what is data. Data are raw facts. For example, any students, any subject marks, English marks or history marks, that is data. Next is information, but information is processed from of data which has a meaning. Meaningful data is called information. So, any student's mark sheet, result, that is information. We have to know what is database. Database may be defined as an organized collection of related data items. Next, we have to know what is database system. Database system is collection of software to manipulate the database. Which software manipulate the database? That is called database system. So, what is database management system? A database management system is a collection of interrelated data and a set of programs to access those data. So, DBMS manage the whole system, which is helpful to us. So, any company's employee records are stored in their database. So, we have to know any employee's salary, any employee's information, any information we have to know, access the database. Then DBMS helps us to know the information. So, DBMS is very helpful to us. Next, we have to know the disadvantage of traditional file system. Before DBMS we have traditional file system to store database, to store any information, but the traditional file system have some disadvantages. This question is very important, so we have to know the points. What is the disadvantages of traditional file system? First point is data redundancy and data inconsistency, which is most important point. What means data redundancy? Data redundancy means the same information may be duplicated in different places, and inconsistency means the various copies of same data may exist. So, the traditional file system stores same data in duplicated form in different places. For example, any student's mobile number stored in any college's office. Also, it records in any department's record. So, the student's mobile number is duplicate value. Then the inconsistency arises how? When the student change the mobile number, but the information he gives only to office, not department. Then the department has his older phone number, contact number, but the office has his new contact number. Then the inconsistency arises when various copies of same data exist. Then the inconsistency arises. So, this is the big problem of traditional file system. Next problem is difficulty in data manipulation. Conventional file processing environments do not allow needed data to be retrieved in a convenient and efficient manner. So, it is It is a big problem to manipulate data. Next is data isolation. What is data isolation? The data scattered in various files may be in different formats. So various programs needed to access data. So this is problem. Next point is big problem, concurrent access problem. For sake of overall performance of the system and faster response, many systems allows multiple users to update the data simultaneously. But in this case, lack of proper locking system, concurrent update may cause inconsistency. So this is the big problem of traditional file system, concurrent access problem. But we have to concurrent access. This is a important point. Next is a security implementation problem. In database, there are many number of security levels. There may different user with different privilege. This is very difficult to implement in traditional file system. So traditional file system is not secured. Last point is constraint problem. The data value stored in database must satisfy certain consistency constraints. Database can handle this with different constraints, but in case of file system, the developer has to write programs to implement such constraints. So these are the drawbacks of traditional file system. Next topic is advantages of DBMS. We have to know how DBMS overcome these problems which we discussed before the previous slide. First DBMS advantages of DBMS is minimal data redundancy and inconsistency. The amount of data redundancy in stored data can be reduced. So it overcomes the big problem. Next is data integration, reduce data isolation. Next is data sharing. DBMS reduced concurrent access. Stored data can be shared by single or multiple users. Next is enforcement of standards. It reduces constraint problem also. Standards can be set and followed. Fifth point is restricting unauthorized access. When multiple users share a large database, it is likely that most users will not be authorized to access all information in the database. So thus DBMS overcomes the security problem. It provides storage structures for efficient query processing. Database systems must provide capabilities for efficiently executing queries and updates. Thus we access our necessary data. Then it provides backup and recovery, which is most important. A DBMS must provide facilities for recovering from hardware or software failures. The backup and recover subsystem of the DBMS is responsible for recovery. It provides multiple user interface because many types of users with varying levels of technical knowledge use it. So these are the advantages of DBMS. Next we have to know about database languages. There are three types of database languages: DDL, DML and DCL. Data definition language, data manipulation language and data control language. What is DDL? It is used to create, modify and delete database structures but not data. So DDL used to create, modify and delete database. The example of DDL: create comment, create objects in the database; alter comments, alters the structure of the database; and drop command, delete objects from the database. Next is data manipulation language. A DML is a language that enables users to access or manipulate data as organized by appropriate data model. It requires a user to specify what data are needed and how to get those data. So, DML manipulates the database. For example, insert command inserts data into a table; update command update existing data within a table; and delete command deletes all records from a table. The space for the records remain. So, that is DML. Next database language is DCL, data control language. It controls access to data and to the database. Example is commit command saves the work done. So, these are the database languages. Next is the most important topic, the three-level architecture of a DBMS, that is called ANSYS Spark model. ANSYS Spark model is shown in the figure. You show the figure. The model has three levels: external level, that is called view level; conceptual level or logical level; and the third level is internal level or physical level. Now, we have to know what is the ANSYS Spark model. First is external level or view level. It is the level closest to the user. It is concerned with the way in which data observed by user. Most of the user of the database is not concerned with all the information contained in the database. Instead, they need only a part of the database relevant to them. So, this level, the view level, is closest to the user. It is concerned with the way in which data observed by user. Most of the user relate with the level. Next level is conceptual level or logical level. The conceptual level describes the different types of data actually stored in the data. Which types of data are stored in the database, that describes conceptual level. This level also indicates the relationship existing among data items. At this level, a database is described logically rather than physically in terms of data structure. So, users of this level are not concerned with how these logical data structures will be implemented at the physical level. Rather, they are only concerned about what information would be kept in a database. So, this is logical level, the logical schema, conceptual schema that describes the conceptual level. Last level is internal level or physical level. It is the lowest level of abstraction. It is the one closest to the physical storage device. This level is also termed as physical level because it describes how data are actually stored on the storage medium, such as hard disk, magnetic tape, etc. At this level, complex low-level data structure are described. So, this level is closest to the physical storage device. So, this is the structure of ANSYS Spark model, the three-level architecture of DBMS. Next point is data independence. So, we have to know what is data independence. any change at level may affect other level scheme বা other structure of the database. As the database keep growing, there may be changes made at some level. However, this should never lead to redesigning and re-implementation of entire database. So, if you change any level structure that does not affect the entire database, so that is data independence. The concept of data independence points to the ability to modify a schema definition in one level without affecting the schema definition in the next higher level. So, that is the most important point. We can modify the schema without affecting the schema definition in the next higher level. That is data independence. That is the most important property of DBMS. So, this is the database management system is very helpful to us. The first data independence is physical data independence. What is physical data independence? It refers to the ability to modify the schema followed at the physical level without affecting the schema followed at a conceptual level. That is, the application programs remains the same even though the schema at physical level get modified. Modifications at physical level are occasionally necessary in order to improve the performance of the system. So, if we modify the schema in the physical level, then it does not affect the schema followed at conceptual level. So, that is physical data independence. Next is logical data independence. It is same. It refers to the ability to modify the conceptual schema without causing any changes in the schema followed at view level. The logical data independence ensures that the application program remains the same. So, if we modify the conceptual schema of any table, then it does not affect the application program, the view level structure, it does not affect. Modification at conceptual level is necessary wherever logical structure of database get altered causes of some unavoidable reason. So, if we change any data types, then we does not have to modify the view level, it remains same. It is more difficult to achieve logical independence because the application programs are heavily dependent on the logical structure of the database. So, that is data independence. Next is about elements of DBMS. Now, we have to know the elements of DBMS. The elements of DBMS described in the figure. This figure shows the elements of DBMS. There is users, application programs, sophisticated users, database administration. These are the elements of DBMS: application programs, query, database scheme, DML compiler, DDL interpreter, file manager, storage manager, data file, data dictionary. These are the system structure of DBMS. So, now we have to describe the elements of DBMS. First, the major components of DBMS is DML precompiler. What is the function of DML precompiler? It converts DML statement embedded in an application program to normal procedure calls in the host language. The precompiler must interact with the query processor in order to generate the appropriate code. So, that is the function of DML precompiler. Next is DDL compiler. The DDL compiler, the function of, what is the function of DDL compiler? The DDL compiler converts the data definition statements into a set of tables. This table contain information concerning the database and are in a form that can be used by other components of the DBMS. Next is file manager. What is the function of file manager? File manager manages the allocation of space on disk storage and the data structure used to represent information stored on disk. The file manager can be implemented using an interface to the existing file subsystem provided by the operating system of the host computer, or it can include a file subsystem written specially for the DBMS. So that is the function of file manager. Manages the allocation of space on disk storage and the data structure used to represent information stored on disk. Next is important element, important component of DBMS, that is database manager. A database manager is a program module which provides the interface between the low-level data stored in the database and the application programs and queries submitted to the system. It is responsible for interfacing with file system. So, one of the function of database manager is to convert user's query coming directly via the query processor or indirectly via an application program from the user's logical view to the physical file system. In addition, its security are also performed by database manager. So, it also performs backup and recovery operations. So, database manager have many functions. It converts user's query coming directly via the query processor. Its security are also performed by database manager and it performs backup and recovery operation. So that is the function of database manager. Next is query processor. Query processor is used to interpret the online user's query and convert it into a efficient series of operations in a form capable of being sent to the data manager for execution. So, the query processor interprets the online user's query and convert it into a efficient operation in a form of capable of being sent to the data manager for execution. Thus, we access the database. So that is the function of query processor. Next is very important component of DBMS, that is database administrator, a DBA. Short form of database administrator is DBA. The DBA administrators the three levels of the database and a consultation with the overall user community. Sets up the definition of the global view or conceptual level of the database. The DBA further specifies the external view of the various users and applications and is responsible for the definition and implementation of the internal level, including the storage structure and access methods to be used for the optimum performance of the database. So, the three levels of database and consult with the overall user community. It sets up the definition of the conceptual global view or conceptual level of the database, further specifies the external view of the various users and application, and responsible for the definition and implementation of the internal level, including the storage structure and access methods to be used for the optimum performance of the DBMS. So, changes to any of the three levels necessitated by changes or growth in the organization are under the control of the DBA. So, database administrator manage the whole DBMS system. If we want to change any modification of the database, then it controls the database administrator. Database administrator controls the 3 level of data structure. Next, last element is data dictionary. Data dictionary is that is data directory. A directory, what is a directory tells? A directory tells you where to find them. A data dictionary or directory contains information or data about the data, that is metadata, data about data. Any information about data is stored in data dictionary. A comprehensive data dictionary would provide the definition of data item, how they fit into the data structure and how they relate the other entities in the database. That is data dictionary. So that is so here ends the today's topic. That is enough for today. Thank you.